We now arrive at one of the most anticipated moments of the entire conference, a highlight we look forward to year after year, the 3-minute thesis competition final. For us, it's very, very exciting, but to host it, but we're delighted to have one of our own students among the finalists, which makes this moment even more special for us. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Professor Adriana Zeitz, who will moderate the competition. A warm round of applause, please.
You know, every good story starts with once upon a time. For us, it all started in 2017 as an initiative of the Doctoral Studies Working Group. And now, in 2026, we are celebrating the 10th edition. For this, our very passionate colleague from the Coimbra Group office, thank you, Katarina, interviewed 9 finalists to find out what the 3MT competition meant for them. So let's take together a look back with a short celebratory video, please.
I feel much more confident about speaking in front of a public audience, and also feeling more confident about my research and the way that I know about it and I talk about it.
When you're dealing with a specific topic for a long time, you can get really bogged down in it and you don't see the wood for the trees, so to speak. If you have to explain it to an audience who is not from your discipline, you just start looking at it, like a child almost.
Remember that research doesn't have to be boring, and it's just about kind of communicating the passion that you have for your topic in a way that other people feel the same passion. I think that's something that all researchers could bring to conferences, because I think a lot of people have seen a lot of very boring talks.
Maybe rethink, and maybe it made me even open my eyes to what's actually important.
It did have a great impact because I was more confident talking in front of people, especially people coming from different fields, try to convince them about my research and what I do. So I think that was quite great.
Working with very limited time and space made me identify the parts of my work that could be understood by people who are not specialists, and find a straightforward way to explain them.
The skills I think I gained were really to make sure that the things I say arrive at the audience, because you really, with the 3-minute thesis competition, make a much closer connection to the audience.
It's not a competition. It's bringing researchers, scientists from different countries, different universities, and everyone's working together to make science visible.
You can either go super technical and see the other person's eyes glaze over, or you can find a punchy way to get across how exciting this thing is and what you were able to bring to this new field.
The fact that I communicated it at the 3-minute thesis competition for sure made me come back to the lab much more excited than I was before.
The experience of preparing the competition helped me develop a way of communicating that is clear and focused.
Oh, it meant a lot. I mean, it was very much pushing myself outside of my comfort zone.
So it was worth it once you just go through the first second, because it's only 3 minutes, you just let it go, and it just you go through your speech, and it was quite great.
This competition gives you an opportunity to really do something outside the box and think outside the box and do something that maybe you never saw yourself doing.
It has changed the way I look at the value of my research as well.
It had a massive immediate impact on me.
It looks very good in my CV, and it's definitely something that people appreciate, especially in the world of research.
Winning is temporary, but learning how to talk about your science, learning how to communicate it, is something permanent. So treat it as something you do in the lab for your science outside the lab, if it makes sense.
I still thought it was one of the coolest things I've done in my PhD. I'm so happy I participated.
Of course, we encourage you to explore the full series of videos on the Coimbra Group YouTube channel. Now, a few more words about the 3MT competition. You can see the slides. I will go quickly throughout. Originally developed by the University of Queensland, it's meant to explain one's research in just 3 minutes in a language which is appropriate for a lay audience. Competitors are only allowed 1 slide, no other resources. This year, we had a record number of participating universities, 30. And then 26 contestants, and of course, the 3 finalists, we will all follow shortly. The rules. A single static slide is permitted, no additional electronic media, no additional props, nothing. 3 minutes maximum, just spoken word, no poems, raps, singing, dancing. The presentations are to comments from the stage. And when the presenter starts moving or talking, we consider that he started. And then, of course, the decision of the adjudicating panel or jury is final. But who's in the jury this year? And we are very grateful because they accepted to help us with this mission. The jury spokesperson is Efrem Yildiz Sadak, full professor at the Faculty of Philology, Department of Hebrew and Aramaic Studies, University of Salamanca, and he is also a member of the executive board of the Coimbra Group. Thank you. Then we have Lina Ometo, associate professor of zoology at the Department of Biology and Biotechnology, University of Pavia, and chair of the Coimbra Group Life Sciences Working Group. And then Gunda Huskobla, the managing director of the Graduate Academy, Friedrich Schiller University of Vienna, and member of our doctoral studies working group, and Joanna Schlager, the deputy director for research and strategy at the Jagiellonian University Museum Collegium Maius in Krakow, and a member of the Coimbra Group Heritage Working Group. You now see the judging criteria. They are classified into 2 categories, comprehension and content. Basically, for comprehension, it's about understanding background, significance, and explaining terminology by avoiding jargon, describe the impact and the results of the research, follow a clear and logical sequence, and then use the appropriate language for a non-specialist audience or public, and also spend adequate time on explaining each part of the presentation. For the engagement and communication, the jury will look and see if, after the presentation or during the presentation, the audience wants to know more, if the presenter did not trivialize or minimalize, but either generalize the result, if they conveyed enthusiasm, if they had stage presence and eye contact, and if the slide enhanced the presentation. So, because I saw that the tension over there is so thick you could cut it with a knife, without further ado, let's begin. Alphabetically, we start with our first finalist, Corey Alwell, from Trinity College Dublin. He will present us his research, Hunting for Hunter-Gatherers, Stories from the Oldest Irish DNA Ever Sequenced. The research area, genetics and microbiology. And just to put a little bit of salt and pepper on our candidate, he is an avid salsa and bachata dancer. So, the floor is yours. So, steady, ready, go.
If you wanted to learn about history, where would you look? Would you read a book? But books are written by people. People can be biased, and paper decays. Maybe you'd ask an archaeologist, but archaeologists themselves would be the first to tell you that useful samples are hard to find. What if I told you that you yourself are a time capsule? That within you, within your cells, within your DNA, there is a novel written about how you live, about who you're related to, even about where you come from. Seems wild, right? But the most amazing thing to me is this DNA novel does not die with you when you die. It remains frozen in time for thousands of years, acting as a time capsule about the life you've lived. And now, with new DNA sequencing technology, it's possible for the first time to read these DNA novels, and not just of modern humans, but of people who existed before history itself. I'm interested in going back as far as possible in Irish prehistory, to the Stone Age, hunter-gatherers, people who came to our island 10,000 years ago, bringing their own way of life. What I've done during my PhD is taken a set of hunter-gatherer teeth from 2 caves across Ireland, sequenced their DNA, and done my very best to read the story of their lives. And what have I come up with? Well, a first obvious question to ask is, where did these first people come from? Some have suggested eastern, western France and Spain, while others have suggested a more eastern, internal route of colonization. By looking at the similarity of my hunter-gatherer genomes with other ancient European individuals, we can see this internal, continental route becomes way more likely. We can also read this DNA novel for information on population size, believe it or not. We can see the Irish hunter-gatherer population was small, about 3,000 people for the whole island, with a dip in size and then recovery about 8,200 years ago. Interestingly, at a period that corresponds to a cold snap across all of Europe. Humans have existed as hunter-gatherers for most of our existence, yet so few of these societies still exist today. By studying these past reflections of ourselves, we get insight into the immense diversity possible for human civilizations, and how we only live in a sliver of that diversity today. The unknowable is slowly becoming more knowable. Makes you wonder, who'll be reading your DNA novel in 10,000 years? Thank you.
Moving to our second finalist, Vicente Bru Garcia, University of Granada. Title of the presentation, Please Listen. Research area, translation and interpreting. And the salt and pepper. He is passionate by theater, and he's a theater director. To be or not to be, he asked himself on the stage. He made the right decision, so he will be on the stage. The floor is yours. So, ready, steady, go.
You're at the cinema. You're watching the film Titanic with subtitles in it. At the very best moment when Jack is delivering that beautiful final line, the subtitle reads, "Please cry, I'm dying." Now, let's imagine you're watching a Marx Brothers comedy, and instead of translating that clever pun, the subtitle simply says, "Please laugh, it's a joke." I know what you're thinking. Translators like me are telling you how to feel, robbing you of the freedom to laugh or cry. Deaf audiences go through similar experiences when watching films using subtitling for the deaf and hard of hearing. They read subjective descriptions such as sad music or funny music for musical elements as complex as film soundtracks. Because let's face it, Some melodies may sound sad, but emotions are not naturally linked to sound. They are the result of us comparing that piece to other pieces we've heard before, to our mood at that particular moment, and to the cultural meanings we often associate with certain sounds. My research takes a step forward in the fight for equal access. It is built on 3 pillars. First, I analyze how music is currently translated into subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing on streaming platforms, such as Netflix. Secondly, I propose new ways of translating musical meaning based on how the deaf community understands music and on why music is composed for films in the first place. And if you're wondering, yes, music can also convey things beyond emotions. Take, for instance, Arabian Nights, which composers created for setting the scene in Aladdin, or some particular melodies for defining a character like the Imperial March linked to Darth Vader in Star Wars. Finally, I ask deaf viewers, who are, after all, the real consumers of these subtitles, what they think of these descriptions, using questionnaires that compare current translation strategies with other objective ones I've designed. The results are clear. Spanish translators still rely heavily on subjective strategies, like describing emotions, something that is often perceived by deaf viewers as rather patronizing. When the functionality of the music is described through objective strategies, like quick tempo for music in action-packed scenes, deaf viewers can enjoy film music without being forced to feel or do something. Unlike you, my audience, to whom now I say, please clap. Thank you.
And our third finalist, Lokesh Jain, University of Edinburgh. The title of his presentation, Ice Melange, the cork in the glacial bottle. Research area, numerical modeling. He is a keen language learner, and today he will show us the language of science communication. The floor is yours, Jane. So, ready, steady, go.
How fast will sea levels rise? This may be the defining question of the 21st century. Across the globe, there's a sense that the world's oceans are a ticking time bomb, creeping steadily higher until, one day, remote islands disappear and coastal communities are forced to flee from their homes. But when is that day? And how certain can we be? This is a question I grapple with every day, and the key to answering it lies in Donald Trump's fever dream, Greenland. The Greenland ice sheet is melting rapidly and could add anywhere from 1 to 18 centimeters to global sea levels by 2100. Now, 18 centimeters may not sound like that much, but across the whole planet, it's huge. That's more water than the entire North Sea. That may or may not be added to our oceans. To protect people across the world, it's vital to narrow that uncertainty in future sea level rise. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do in my PhD. I study one of the key reasons for this uncertainty, the mixture of icebergs and sea ice, which floats in front of Greenland's largest glaciers. This mixture, called ice melange, is the last defense. As a glacier flows into the ocean, this ice melange pushes back against it and prevents ice from being lost, like the cork in a bottle. If this melange melts too much or becomes too weak, the cork pops. The glacier starts losing ice, and sea levels start to rise. But that raises a key question. How quickly will ice melange melt in the future? In my PhD, I run computer simulations to answer this very question. By modeling how water flows through this icy maze of icebergs and sea ice, I can predict how quickly an ice melange will melt. I can then vary the temperature of the air or ocean in a simulation to represent how the climate might warm. In this way, I can simulate thousands of possible futures to understand how ice melange will change in our warming climate. I've discovered that rising ocean temperatures are twice as important for the melting of ice melange as rising air temperatures. Using the results of my simulations, I've also developed an equation that describes just how quickly ice melange will melt as temperatures rise. This equation is like my little piece in the jigsaw puzzle of how climate change will affect our planet. Other scientists can use my equation to improve long-term climate models and eventually do what we set out to do: narrow that uncertainty in future sea level rise. Thank you.
Well, weren't this the shortest but most intense minutes of the whole Coimbra Group Annual Conference? I bet they were, for us and for the finalists. Now, their job is done, but it's the job of the jury that starts, and around 4 o'clock, according to the schedule, the jury will be back and we will know the results. Thank you for being with us. Good luck with the rest of the activities. Until then, and see you soon with the final results.
Everyone, we will now proceed with the announcement of the 3-minute pieces competition results. I have to say, there's definitely a certain nervous energy in the room right now. You can feel it in the air. To our finalists, if your heart rate has increased slightly in the last few minutes, you're not alone. That is completely understandable, but truly you have already done something extraordinary by reaching this stage. Quite honestly, they have. Quite honestly, after the excellent projects we have seen today, I think we can all agree that choosing a winner must have been incredibly difficult. From where we're sitting, you are all winners, the 3 of you. That said, and without further ado, I will now present Efrem Yildiz from the University of Salamanca. He is member of the executive board, and he will be the one that will announce the results.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before giving you the results, I would love to just say some few words, because probably this is going to be my last mission as member of executive board of Coimbra Group. It has been a huge experience. I'm especially thankful to the whole group, Ludovic, Emmanuel, and the rest of EB members, where we have been shared hard work periods, but also we have enjoyed knowing each other. And this is what gives a sense to the Coimbra Group. Coimbra Group is not just a consortium, but it's a big family. And this is what I have learned. And this is what I have enjoyed very much, because we are professionals, but we are human beings, and we have shared not only those values that are only at an academic level, but also we have created a kind of personal links. The European alliances is one of the probably best expression how the European alliances have been attracted through the Coimbra Group, and now they are represented almost in all of them. So my gratitude in the sense, it has been a huge experience. And I hope that those who will come after me or us will enjoy the same experience, will contribute. And especially this is what gives us the possibility of fighting for the common cause, training the next generation. If there is no continuity at the end, our mission as professors, as researchers, would somehow not have any sense if we wouldn't focus on that. So just as few words, I'm thankful and I have been very happy, to have participated in somehow in this big family as EB member. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to disconnect, but now it's time that fresh blood come in and push forward, as we have been doing it at the beginning. So, and now we are going to give you the results. It has been really a hard work. We thought that it was going to be easy, you know, but no. And then each of us has been giving his own motivations why this. Many aspects have been considered as part of how they are judged, because we were trying to judge a presentation, skills, pedagogical skills, their research work. And fortunately, we had even some experts up on the topics where we said, well, probably I don't know about that. They said, no, I know, and he did this and that. And if I'm honest to you, the difference is so slight that it's complicated to say who was. All of them, you are, where are they now? Or they are still, oh, you are there, okay, good. I thought that they were there. So you are the winners. The simple fact that you are doing a research work is not just an award that you are going to receive, but the simple fact that you are contributing with your research, and hopefully you will be also the future professors for the coming years in order to continue this big academic responsibility. It's not just a question of teaching, but it's a responsibility. So you are still the winner. So whether you are the first, second, or third, that at this level you have been fighting also until here. So all of you, you deserve to be considered as winners. But we have to give somehow, we have to accomplish with our duties in order to follow the rules that Coimbra Group has established to give first, second, and third award for the candidates. And ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, mesdames et messieurs, signori, signore, signores, e così via. I am happy to announce you that the winner of the year 2026 is, shall I say it or shall I wait? I'm going to say it. So it's Lokesh Jain. Okay? Congratulations. Wait. Just wait. And now we do have two runners. The first runner is Vicente Bru García. And the third one is Corey Allwall. So congratulations as well. Well, and with this, I have accomplished with my duties, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends. So I wish you all the best in this sense, and thank you for the jury that has been really fighting in order to find the right elements to give these 3 awards according to what has been established. So thank you again for your attention. Good. Two of you just come here.
Congratulations once again to all the participants.